Star Trek is real, yeah, it's filmed in space and everything. And my uniform is teal, teal, teal. You should come aboard, 'cause we're boldly going, yes, Star Trek.
This is Jonathan Lane from Fan Film Factor, and today I'm finally here with PIXI. I got PIXI,
Yay!
yeah, we debuted her music video a couple of days ago, and unfortunately, PIXI was just absolutely bogged down with work and had to cancel at the last minute. We still had Josh and Ray Myers, so that's another interview you can hear. We got Tyler to replace you at the last minute.
Yay!
He was in his car,
awesome.
literally had to pull over to do our Zoom call.
I watched it later and I was like, where is he? That makes sense now.
somewhere in Arkansas.
Yeah.
But anyway, we actually do finally have. We caught the PIXI.
Yes.
You are such a busy person. You're all over the place.
I am, but it's a good thing. It's good to be busy. It's just not good when it's like, I'm too busy for all the things I want to do.
Now, what are all the things that you do? I mean, I know. Well, over the summer, you were a lifeguard.
Head lifeguard. Yep.
A head lifeguard, not just a lifeguard. You were the head lifeguard, and now you're teaching. What are you? Are you teaching elementary school, high school, college?
No, I've taught high school for about 10 years. So I've been teaching environmental science, 10th through 12th grade.
Oh, okay, cool. So 10th and 12th grade teacher. So you were doing that, and then you were also you're pursuing a law degree. Is that right?
Well, concurrently in about a year it'll start. But right now I'm doing the master's in public administration, and then it has a JD component later on. So after I finish a certain amount of credits, then we start the JD program.
Oh, yeah, and my wife will be the first person to talk you out of becoming a lawyer, but
I mean, I don't think I want to take the bar exam. I just want to know. I just want to know how to affect policy and, maybe make some positive public change.
Well, that would be cool. I think Wendy told me that the week that she took her bar exam was like literally the worst week of her entire existence.
Yeah. I have friends who are
going back
lawyers.
lifetimes. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Just seeing them go through that. That's why I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that.
So instead, when you say like public policy, what would you be doing in terms of that? What does public policy look like to you?
Well, for example, being a teacher, I see a lot of things that are completely disconnected from the top down. And there's a lot of not teachers making decisions for a lot of ye olde teachers, and the disconnect is fairly obvious. So what I'd like to do is, since I am a real human being, is maybe provide the language or provide the bill to certain folks and say, hey, this is what really needs to happen. If you pass this, it'd be great. And, it takes the work away from the senators and congressmen locally. And you're like, here's a great bill. Go forth. So that's what I'd like to do.
Go and vote for it. Yeah. All you gotta do is just sign the darn thing.
Introduce it. Don't let it die or get tabled, and then go for it. Yeah.
So you might become a lobbyist.
Yeah, that'd be
I'm talking to a potential lobbyist. Not all lobbyists are evil people, by the way.
No, they're not.
There's good lobbyists out there, and then there's bad, evil lobbyists as well.
I would just be lobbying for the people of Arkansas in this case.
Well, obviously there's worse things to do with your life. So, you're a very impressive woman, I have to say. People have seen PIXI. You arrived. You just beamed into the scene.
I definitely dove in like real hard, real fast.
I mean, 4 months ago, no one had ever heard of PIXI NEREID except for a bunch a bunch of little girls who would had you as a mermaid at their birthday party, because that's the other thing that you do. You're a part-time mermaid.
Yeah.
I'm going to show a picture.
Please do. Yeah, I'm
I'm gonna.
living
Yeah,
my
here's this
dream
is a
life.
picture. This is a picture of Pixie as a mermaid. Here you go.
That's why it's so
Oh,
confusing when you go to my Facebook and people are like, "You do Star Trek fan films?" Like, yeah, I love it. They're like, why is Mermaid? Like, that's the other thing I do.
you know what I just thought of?
Mm.
Oh, this could be fun. Oh, this could be fun. I have to tell Josh. So, for those that didn't watch my other interview, at the end of it, Josh talked about the various things that he has coming up for the Avalon Universe. There's going to be
Mhm.
something, the Crisis on Infinite Excaliburs,
Yeah.
and there will be a whole bunch of pixies, well, Allenbys from other
One Beast. Yeah.
dimensions. Allenbys, from other dimensions, other sci-fi franchises. Well, there's no reason that one of the other Allenbys can't be a mermaid from an aquatic species.
Oh my god.
Whoa!
I would totally do that. I'd
Oh,
totally do that. Like, I
he just
have
has to
the
get like,
underwater camera, I have the equipment for underwater lighting and backdrop.
I was gonna say he could
Let's
film
go.
underwater. Oh, let's do it,
Yeah,
man. All
let's
right.
go. I actually was I was late to the party and posting my own music video. But I did post in our, because I was just kind of overwhelmed. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And so I posted it, and I I've just been amazed by the comments. Someone said that we should do an Avalon musical, and I was like, don't you tempt me. I will write that. I will write
A
that whole
musical
thing before
episode.
Josh can say no.
Well,
Avalon, the musical.
you know what? Elsewhere on this blog, assuming that Josh gets it done in time, we're also going to
Mm,
have the Tyler Donovan lounge singer version of your
yes.
music video.
Yes. And I'm really excited about it. Like, yes. Because I'm gonna
So,
find a jazzy arrangement of what it's actually not me on guitar, it's a friend of mine, Jordan Trotter. He's amazing. Honestly, he's an amazing human being, an amazing musician. And I'm gonna rearrange that arrangement, but for piano, and make it jazzy. So
ooh.
I'll be probably in the background with my piano. It'll be the opposite, like it's the the girl in the dress on the piano or whatever. It'll be the girl in the dress playing the piano. Yeah, I think that'll be great.
Wear your mermaid bottom for that.
Oh my gosh, I'd wear it everywhere. I'd wear it everywhere if I could. It's
Really? Because
true.
you don't have any legs for it. How do you get around? People have to carry it.
Well, there's a couple ways. One, you can do the ye olde scooch, where you scooch forward or backward, depending on where you need to go. And then there's the those gator like carts that folks use at the grocery store that kind of fold up
Mhm.
and expand on their canvas. That's
Uh-huh.
how I get around. And if I'm alone, I just paddle that bad boy. I just paddle it and we get where we need to. Yeah.
Oh, Boise. Well, anyway, yeah. So yeah, I was noticing the comments on that music video thing, and then Vance, of course, he used to actually play in a band. Uh,
I didn't know
so
that.
yeah, I believe he played with one of his friends. I believe that some of his background music that he's used in some of his early Constar stuff or Menard
Yeah.
stuff was
Yeah.
stuff that he had recorded with his friend. So
Okay.
anyway, so I think Vance has some pipes on him. I don't know. Can Josh sing?
Um, I have not heard Josh sing, so I can neither confirm nor deny that that is a talent of his. My husband can sing.
There you
I
go.
can
Bring Aaron
sing.
on.
There was someone who was like, I'm a baritone, and I'm like, okay, actually, that is needed because a good baritone is hard to find.
That's true.
So
I can't sing, but I can.
yeah,
Star Trek is real. How's that?
that's good. That's good. You're gonna have to accompany Tyler. He might
Uh,
get jelly. I really can't wait for like the lounge singer one. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be so good.
oh, I haven't seen that yet either. But when by the time this is done, Josh shows me a video. Because that's the thing is, I just keep putting Avalon videos up, and other Avalons. I mean, this is the big week. Actually, by the time this goes up, it's going to be last week is the big week because it's not going to go up by Sunday. But but you guys raised a $6,000 plus. You were now we're recording this on Saturday. You are now close to $12,000. You started at 5,000 before the magic.
Let's be real. We started at zero.
We started at zero, yeah.
We started at zero.
And the quest for 20,000, that is not easy. I mean, it took me 3.5 months to get Interlude up to $20,000. But I remember when Josh was first talking about this with you and me, as a matter of fact, because you roped me into being your advisor, which turned into.
I was like, you've done this, yeah. I was like, teach me, sensei. Teach me.
Well, I mean, there's a difference between advisor and the head of your crowdfunding, but you can't say no to PIXI. Just look at this face, for God's sake. Just rope me in. But anyway, so we were talking about levels of stuff, and Josh had initially suggested 10,000, and I said, well, if you go for 10,000 and you don't make it, you'll be somewhere around like maybe 7 or 8 if you're lucky or whatever.
Yeah.
How much do you really need? And he looked at me and said, well, we really need more like 20,000. I said, then put 20,000. Try to get what you need, because even if you don't make it, then you'll probably be over 10,000 at least on your way to 20.
And you want to make sure that there is some percentage of contingency there, because things come up. It's life. You're using a lot of technology. For this last film, we were on many different locations. I mean, I went to like 3 different deserts minimum. Yeah, many locations. 3 deserts and a 3-mile hike in like an hour. It's crazy. That was the adrenaline rush of literally like the year. I'm good. It was that boulder hike was crazy, but
it's a blog on that one. Yeah,
I know, but yeah, like to be able to raise that much, like obviously I'm so thankful to the fans. Like this means we're gonna be thank you, because this means we're gonna be able to deliver what we want to deliver, and we already had a little meeting. Like we've got stuff lined up for the next 2.5 years. Like I think the last date we mentioned on our pre-production overview was 2023.
Wow.
For beginning a new project. Yeah. So
and I know that some of that money
we're going to keep delivering.
Yeah, and some of that money that's just been raised, that $6,000 that just came in this past week, some of it's already been spent because you're actually paying for stuff that's been filmed, which is the Agent of New Worlds. So it was like, that money in the door, out the door.
But also out the door is a film, like we're going to be able to deliver that. So, save the date. Halloween, October 31st.
It's gonna be a really good fan. And here's the thing about Agent of New Worlds.
I haven't seen it.
Well, I haven't seen it either because Josh is still editing it.
I know. He lets some people look at it, but I haven't seen it.
Not me yet. Well,
not me either.
Well, we got an exclusive look at you in it, and in fact, if anybody didn't see the scene, I'll put it in right now. But this is a sequence with PIXI and Jennifer Rader. Jen. Anyway, Jen Rader, who is the Native American who is playing a Native American, and she is
Ojibwe Chippewa.
And she is what's the character's name? Ayoka. Is that
Ayoka?
Right?
Yeah,
Ayoka.
it means happiness.
Oh, it does. In which language?
I don't think it's Dene. That's Navajo. I think I think I don't want to say it wrong, so I'm not sure, but I do know
Okay.
it means happiness.
Okay.
And it is a Native American word. It is an indigenous people's word. Yeah.
Well, cool. That awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, but this is a scene that I don't even know if Pixie's seen it yet. But this scene is the two of them have found the Easter egg.
Oh gosh, is this a stutter fight?
Yes, this is the stutter. This is the stutter fight.
Okay.
You guys are both like totally drunk, you know. So it's not just an Easter egg. It's like
It's an
spiked
actual
eggnog. It's like you
Yeah.
guys have just drunk the eggnog and you're suddenly like totally
No,
blitzed out of your minds.
we're not drunk. We're not drunk, but we are affected
You are
by
affected.
something.
Well, let's take
Yeah.
a look at it.
Okay.
A device that small is putting out the energy wave? What the hell is it?
It looks like a giant Easter egg.
Naturally.
None of this makes any sense. A device that powerful and there's no one down here guarding it?
Well, they force us to crash, hope we can't detect their dampening field, and with no way to call for help, we die of thirst. Then they steal our ships.
Definitely alien technology. And nothing that we've ever seen before.
Well, look on the bright side. Encountering weird unknown alien stuff is kind of why we're here. Whoa. You okay?
You touched it! How could you be so irresponsible?
Me? Irresponsible? I was just trying to turn it off, and you were the one that wanted to go on an adventure. Are you kidding me?
I didn't want to venture. I came to rescue you, and you're gonna get pissed at me? You're an engineer. You should know better than to touch things.
You should know better than to open your mouth. I'll show you an adventure when I touch my fist, with my fist, your face.
I'll do the touching here. I'll touch you. I'll touch everything. This black belt's gonna kick your ass.
I love the two of you in that. You're just
We had so much fun. Like, literally, people on set were like trying not to make noise, and we were trying not to laugh at each other. There were lots of instances where we couldn't even like really look at each other, so we were like looking like this because it was so fun. Oh my gosh.
was
Oh,
Josh
Jen,
actively?
you're the best.
Oh yeah, she and she wants to be in more, which is great.
Amazing. I know, she's so amazing. I love her so much. I miss her.
And this is well,
I do.
well, you know, and you know, for those that don't know, you know, Jen was the third person to play this character because the first one didn't work out. The second one had done a little bit of filming and then ended up getting a gig in Los Angeles and couldn't make the next
she got
filming.
signed. She actually got signed to a talent agency. So it was like, well,
Bye.
I mean,
Good luck with
I
your
get
fan
it.
film.
No, but you know, that's a big deal. So I definitely get that. And it ended up really wonderful because we were able to bring in more people to the filming. It actually led us to a couple of different locations, you know, so it's all part of the journey. Things like that are going to happen. And it's just really how you deal with it, how you come back from it, how you monitor and adjust. And, you know, of course, my husband's on the production side of it. So I'm in this like weird gray area where I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. Hey, this is what's going on. I'm not a producer. I'm not an assistant producer, but I'm like assisting
Pixie.
the producer.
Pixie, I have to break this to you, and Josh has broken this to you as well. You're a producer.
Not.
No executive producer. That's Josh, actually. No associate producer, no line producer, no supervising producer, no co-producer, no co-executive producer. You are a producer. All things.
Well, novice. If you're gonna give me that, novice. I'm trying. I'm learning. I'm reading. Neil,
Hey,
I'm reading the book you told me to read.
But when I did Interlude, I'd never produced anything before. So you kind of learn on the job. Never.
But you had been on sets, and you had been around the flow. Like you had something. You had an inkling. Right?
Okay. Here was, okay, we are now driving the car into a parking lot. We're going to stop, and I'm going to give you a little bit of background on what because nobody else knows what I've done before in terms of filmmaking. But the fact is nothing. Now it's not exactly that. Well, here's the thing. Back in 1999, when fan films were still in a different level of production, I was part of the USS Angeles chapter of Starfleet, which is the International Star Trek Fan Organization. And I was part of the crew here in Los Angeles. And one of our members, Rob Caves, wanted to start making some fan films with the crew. They were called the Voyages of the USS Angeles, because it was. And we made a 2-hour movie, which really could have been done in like half an hour and been much less boring. But he wanted to give everybody. I mean, we had kids on board, and we had old people on board. Whatever, who cared? Everybody was on board.
That's awesome.
And so he filmed us. At the time, I had a girlfriend, and she was a member too. And so I think Rob and whoever else was writing the script with him were very fascinated by the fact that there was somebody who had a girlfriend, because Star Trek fan with a girlfriend was you're a young kid, Rob is gay anyway, but the fact is that something in a relationship. So
like,
anyway,
you gotta choose, you love or Star Trek.
Well,
Star Trek.
I didn't have to. And so anyway, he was so enamored with the concept that I had a love of my life, that the scenes that we were in the turbo lift. The ship gets hit, the turbo lift gets stuck. And so the two of us end up having this romantic scene, and we're like smooching in the turbo lift. I mean, it was, we kept the G-rated, but
so romantic.
As a romantic, Joanna and I were just sort of going at it. There was one scene where it was gonna be an outtake where we're kissing or we're smooching, and then we start going down.
Yeah, like and disappear.
And I did that as a fun outtake, and he ended up using it.
I love it when that happens. Like when you're just like, oh, let's do one more and just like let's have a little fun with it, and that becomes that's the scene that you get to keep. And it's usually more genuine too. Yeah.
So just go to YouTube, type up Voyages of the USS Angeles.
Voyages of the USS Angeles.
I think it was called The Price of Duty or something like that.
Yeah, you said duty.
I said duty. I said duty.
I'm a 12-year-old boy. I'm sorry, we've been filming today. My brain is like that.
Well, anyway, so from that point on, after the 4 episodes of Voyages of the USS Angeles, Rob was really getting into it, and the head of the club, Janice Wilcox, was not comfortable with being a Star Trek fan club and having somebody make Star Trek fan films. And it was actually that Rob wanted to bring in some characters from the series. He wanted to bring in Shelby, and he wanted to bring in Artem from Star Trek Insurrection. He was the little boy that befriended Data. He just wanted Artem to have grown up a little bit. And so so Janice, she didn't want to stop him, but she was just like, I don't want to have us contacted by Paramount back then.
Right.
So he separated, amicably. A lot of people from the Angeles worked on his series, and his series was called Star Trek Hidden Frontier. And Star Trek Hidden Frontier ended up going on for 7 seasons. and like 70 episodes, and spawned a whole bunch of other series, like the Helena Chronicles and Odyssey, and it was just, it went crazy. And so Rob
Oh, I love
filmed
it.
and he filmed at his home in Altadena, Pasadena. They're right next to each other. There was a
Right.
green screen room that had a big closet behind the camera where all the uniforms were hanging, and then there's a little like editing suite next to it, which was like this closet walkway thing. I think it was like a way to get out. It looked like a closet, but I think it was also a way to get to the backyard. And Rob was like in there. It was this tiny little room. And then they had like one of the other bedrooms in the house was makeup, and then there was like a third bedroom. And then there was the kitchen and the powdered donuts and the pizza and the Mountain Dew, and
kind of like the food, like the craft room.
And then everybody just hung out in the living room around the couch. We couldn't talk, of course, because they were filming the other room. And we couldn't watch TV, but we could talk when they weren't filming. And so I was there for a bunch of those. So that was sort of my fan film experience, because that was definitely a fan film, not a professional.
Right.
And then my only other experience, other than like going to tapings of shows, because with Los Angeles you're constantly going studio audience tapings.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But to actually see anything being filmed for real, my friend and I, my friend was at that point doing like Hollywood level management of things, and she was doing a deal with Tim Russ, and so we had to meet him at Paramount. Well, might as well drive, go to Paramount. This is back in the days when I was working with licensing, so I could actually drive onto the lot.
Right.
I could actually
you had
get
the
a drive
pass.
on it. I had the pass. I could park under
Did
the
you
big
have a golf
blue
cart?
wall. Did not have a golf cart. No, I had a Ford Thunderbird.
Okay, that works too.
We parked under the big blue wall,
Yeah.
which is where they filmed the whale scene in Star Trek. The Klingon, the submerged Klingon bird of prey was in that little parking lot area. And then we went to the Voyager set. And the first thing that we did is we were looking for Tim Russ, but he wasn't there. They were all like in a major production meeting, so we were just sort of waiting on set for we were like, could we at least go in and look for them? The security guard's like, fine. It's like, no security whatsoever. And so we walked onto the Voyager set, and so there we are in the Voyager set. And then I'm going to show some pictures here as I continue talking. This is me on the bridge of the Voyager. This is me sitting in. I couldn't sit in Janeway's chair, so I sat in Chakotay's. It's not that I couldn't; I just didn't want to sit in the captain's chair.
I was gonna say, Catherine Mulgrew, I would not sit in her chair without her permission. Like, and she's the captain.
But we were snapping pictures as fast as we could, because we didn't know that we weren't allowed to, but we figured we'll just do it until somebody stops us. And nobody stopped us. So we just kept wandering around, and we were on the bridge, and then we went into the turbo lift, and behind the turbo lift is the transporter. This is me standing on the transporter.
Yes. Okay. I remember I've seen that picture, because you're like, peep this. And I'm like, what? Because I think I sent you my transporter picture from Warp 66. I was like, I was on the transporter, and then you're like, I think I got you beat,
I think the other bit. Well, we kept wandering around. It was like there's nobody on the set at all. And so we just kept wandering and wandering. Then we came into sick bay. This is my friend on one of the sick bay beds. This picture is I like to call this one Star Trek fans.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yes.
Because you had to cool down the set. And anyway, we kind of kept walking, and we got to this point where the corridor, which it's a very rounded corridor, we were crossing over this like long open area where like you could see out to the rest of the soundstage. And we're like, oh, do we do it? Because like, you could now see us, from farther away. Everything else is like completely, enclosed 360. Like, oh my God, we're gonna
immersive.
We heard some voices about halfway through this open area, and so we like ducked into the first room we could, and suddenly we're in engineering. I went, oh my
Okay,
God, we're
I
in
would
engineering.
die. I would die if I was even near Balana's, like, anything. Like, Balana Torres actually was my hero because it was the first time I saw someone mixed on Star Trek, and being mixed myself, like, that was just so inspiring. And then also I'm a science nerd anyways, like, always have been. So the fact that she was like this, like, young, super ambitious, not taking nothing from nobody, like, she was amazing. It was like Beverly, but even better. Like,
what exactly are you mixed, by the way? What is your ethnicity? Because
I am
half
indigenous Mexican, and I'm half, like, German, Ashkenazi Jewish.
Oh my goodness.
So,
okay, well, there you go then.
So curly hair on one side, curly hair on the other side.
And they meet in the middle.
Happened.
Well, anyway, the end of that story, by the way, we continued wandering around. This is a great shot of how they make the L cars move. That spinning pie thing is actually it's a polarized piece of paper. It is see-through, and so the polarization is that the lines just go like this. It's like window shades, and then the L cars have the same window shade.
Yeah.
But what happens is this thing turns, it blocks the light, and then when it turns again, the light gets let through for just a second, and then it turns. So as it's rotating, things are blinking on and blinking on. Oh, it's brilliant. Micah Kuda
That's so clever.
And Ron B. Moore, you guys are amazing in what you come up with.
Yeah.
So anyway, we sort of just continued walking around until we were, we like photographed everything. And then we decided, Tim still wasn't around. So we decided to go literally across the street, because that was where they were filming Deep Space Nine. And we decided to wander around the Deep Space Nine sets for just a little bit. I think they were shooting Swarm. So this must have been season 4 of Deep Space Nine and 2 of Voyager.
That was well into, DS9.
And so, we did as much as we could on the Deep Space Nine set. And then unfortunately, we were discovered by a security guard. He was very, very nice, by the way. I'd already taken 2.5 rolls of film. And so I was so I had actually, like, every time I finished a roll, I stashed it in my sock.
Yes.
Because I was like, don't
want them to, like,
my film.
Yeah.
So when he was like,
back when they would do that, they would, like, take your canister, open it up, and just expose it to the light, and you're done.
Well, he was a very polite security guard, but he said, "Excuse me, are you here to see something?" So, and it was, we're actually waiting to meet up with Tim Russ. We have an appointment with him. And he said, "Oh, well, Tim Russ is on Voyager. That's across the way there." And he was like, "Oh, okay. Sorry, we didn't know." And as far as he knew, we were not Trekkies. Knew exactly who Tim Russ was.
Oh my gosh!
But he didn't take my camera, so everything was just fine. And we did finally catch up with Tim. This is a shot that I, being a good photographer, took of my friend Lisa with Tuvok. You'll see that it looks, very nice.
Oh my god!
And
Tuvok.
And then here's me when you let your friend, who doesn't know how to use a camera as well, take a picture. And so it's a little dark,
but that's okay. We know it's Tuvok. You were there.
I was there. By the way, one more Tuvok shot of her. I had to take this picture. If you can see, I'm gonna scroll down to the bottom.
There.
He's wearing slippers.
I do not blame him. Wearing boots all day for anything is not fun.
They hardly ever, have their shoes on screen. So a lot of times they're just wearing comfortable slippers.
Yeah, it's not like they're having, like, top down full shots. Like, yeah.
Now, we did not expect to be taking this detour from PIXI into my Star Trek history, but what the heck. Anyway, so after all of this, they finally started filming, and Tim was nice enough to invite us to be part of the filming experience, to stand in front of the bridge, but to the side of it, while they were filming some scenes. And we're like, okay, this is great. This is amazing. And we actually got to watch some of Swarm being filmed. We got to see Kess coming out of the turbolift and talking to Janeway. We got to, see Janeway doing her lines. And interestingly enough, it's hard to explain how many people are surrounding Kate Mulgrew when she's delivering her lines. But imagine being on a very, very crowded subway, and there's like 20 people around you. And that's how many people are surrounding her while she's giving her lines, because there's an audio guy, there's a boom mic guy, there's a makeup person that's like literally ready to, powder her, before
between every little take. Yeah.
There's an assistant director, there's the director, there's the lighting person, there's the script coordinator, and like everybody is surrounding her. So, you don't see this, but anytime you see any of them on the screen, imagine that there's like 12 to 20 people.
They have like a little village like surrounding them under the eye line of the camera.
And you can kind of see this a little bit on the video I posted recently for Interlude, because I posted the actual filming of the filming. I filmed it all, and it's the same sort of thing. You can see on Interlude, when Warren's giving his lines, you've got Victoria there, and you've got Josh there, and you've got Earl there doing the sound, and and you've seen this, I'm sure too, while you're filming, there at Warp 66 Studios, which I should probably mention, you are at Warp 66 Studios right now.
I am, yes. They have generously let me use their sound booth so that I can be soundproof for the duration of our interview. Dan and Glenn, amazing human beings. Like this family that Avalon has opened and introduced me, like I cannot even describe how wonderful it's been to just have this entire family.
Let's turn this around. Have you had, before doing all this Star Trek fan film stuff, have you had any filmmaking experience?
Actually, quite a bit, yeah. So I used to do like St. Louis film festivals, right? Because I went to school in Missouri, and then in Arkansas, literally anything. I'm like, extras, casting call, whatever. And it used to be really hard to get in because I'm very white passing for being half Mexican. So now it's kind of working out. Like, just my resume, I guess, has grown enough. I've done enough theater productions at this point, and now I'm just really driving towards film because I love theater. Like, don't get me wrong, like theater and musicals are always going to be part of my little nerdy heart, always. But this being part of film it's like you said, like there's 20 people around one person, like there's an intense level of teamwork and camaraderie and expected professionalism. And that level of excellence is what I love about film. It's like everybody needs to be on their A game, and it's expected, like it's just expected. And being, I'm a military spouse, so that level of excellence and expectations, it's kind of ingrained in me. My dad was in the military, my grandfather is military on both sides. Like you just, I can't describe it. It's just so exhilarating. Like I came up today because they needed some help, and I'm like, I'll help. Like I'm not in anything today. I'm doing slates, running lines. Filming there?
Is Josh filming there, or is it Glenn or Dan?
No, it's Glenn and Dan. It's for Federation Files.
Oh, okay. I didn't think Josh told me he was filming anything today. So so they're just doing more Federation File stuff.
Yeah, I just wanted to be on set.
By the way, I've got a blog coming up, folks, because it's kind of funny, and I've had this blog ready to go for a while, but unfortunately, I didn't publish it when I should have. But they did 4 episodes in a row, I think 4 or 5, where they didn't use their bridge sets, and I had to ask Glenn. It's like, you've got these amazing Star Trek sets, these TOS sets, the bridge and the briefing room and the transporter room, and like 4 episodes in a row where it's like time, different time periods or whatever, where they're not using their sets. It's like, it's like having this amazing cake in your refrigerator and you can't eat it.
I'll take that cake, thank you.
There you go.
Come
Well,
along.
you've got room for it. I don't. But
Okay, we got room for it. Put it in a to-go box.
But anyway, yeah. So yeah, Glenn and Dan are great people, and of course they're letting you use it for Avalon, which is just and you guys are really using it. I mean, you're like going up there all the time, and
yeah, it was like at one point we went up 3 weekends in a row, just to shoot different aspects of it, and it was like 2 days here, 2 days here, 2 days there. One of them was like a 3-day weekend. Yeah.
And when you're there, it's not just that Glenn is unlocking the door and saying, "Okay, have fun storming the starship." He's there. He's an associate producer. He's lifting you on his shoulders, literally.
Yeah, Glenn. So you've seen that picture that was from Cosmic Stream, and that's actually how I met them, because I was like friends of friends, and Tyler was like, "Oh, you like Star Trek?" I'm like, "I'm named after it." Like, yes, I love Star Trek. He's like,
"Okay,
oh,
have to interrupt. Hold on," because everybody's like, "There's no PIXI in Star Trek. Can you explain how you're named after somebody in Star Trek?" I know, but nobody else is watching.
Right.
No.
So my real name, which no one ever believes, but my real name is Ilya, and of course that came from the motion picture, from the original series, Ilea. My mom loved Ilea's theme, and so did my dad, and she loved the composition of it, being a musician herself, being a writer and author. And my dad was just hardcore Star Trek, so he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna name her Ilya." Or Ilea. And my mom's like, "Well, let's go with the Greek pronunciation. Let's go with Ilya, like Lilia." So it's a little bit easier in life. And the Greek pronunciation also has a meaning. It means one who seeks enlightenment.
Oh, well, cool.
Yeah. Which I think is perfect for Star Trek.
and for you, I mean, you are always seeking enlightenment. You are a light. You are a beacon yourself. But you are getting your education, and you are teaching others. So good for you.
And they teach me. Oh man, the high school students teach me a lot. I'll tell you that.
Oh, all students teach their teachers when all is said and done.
And I don't just mean slang,
No,
they really do. It's like, "Oh my gosh, okay, you're interested in that. Wow." Or they'll ask me a question that I've never thought of before, and I'm like, "Okay, give me a day. I'll come back to you." I have to do like my research, like who first came up with air conditioning? You know what? I don't know, but I'm very thankful, and I will get back to you on that. That is something that I actually have to look up.
My son Jaden has gotten to the point of asking those like really interesting questions, and
Right.
Sometimes I'll actually start answering them, and I'll go, "No, Dad, don't explain it."
Yeah. He's like, I get the YouTube. Oh my gosh.
Go ahead, look it up on YouTube. But anyway, so here you are in the midst of so I didn't realize that you had all of this background. So you had like theater training and acting training and all that sort of thing?
Child. Yes, since I was a child, I'd been like the Little Rock Children's Theater is a really, really great organization. And then Murray's Dinner Playhouse Theater, they also are really great. I also have dance background, so I was doing ballets from very, very early age. I mean, like so early that it predates my preschool memories. Like, yeah, or there had to be around the same time. My uncle was an excellent ballet I'd say ballet artist, ballerino.
Ballerino,
yeah.
Ballerino.
I mean, really, truly I've seen pictures of his work, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I'm related to that. Like he's brilliant. He's brilliant as a dancer, as an artist. I'm so thankful that was part of the family. That was passed down. So yeah, I even went to New York Film Academy, and I did a musical theater program there, and did ballet and jazz, and whoo, buddy.
You are so impressed, because I mean, here you literally you like I said, you beamed in. I mean, like 4 months ago, and suddenly PIXI is here, folks. PIXI is in the
I'm
building,
here.
and everyone's like, "Who's PIXI?" And now we are
Exactly.
and you were capturing the hearts of an otherwise toxic group of fans. I have to say, not every fan is toxic,
I
but
was gonna say I don't know about that, but
no,
in general, I think fandoms can, in general, there's always gonna be that, like, 1 to 5% that's gonna be toxic, and they pipe up a lot, and I think that's part of any organization, to be honestly. But yeah, sorry.
Even the toxic people love you. That was my where I was going with that. Or at least nobody's criticizing you, which is good. But yes, I mean most people in our fan film community are good people. But honestly, there's a lot more nice people out there than the toxic ones. But even the toxic ones seem to be okay with you. And they always find something to complain about. I mean, like for example, you post the Avalon videos, it's up there for like 5 minutes, and already there's one dislike. Oh, come on! What's there to dislike?
But you know what? They watched it.
They watched it.
They had to watch it. They had to click on that link. So love me or hate me, you watched me.
But come on, everybody except for one person loves PIXI. It's just
except for one person. Just one.
The one dislike, you go to the Avalon videos, like one dislike. Actually, I one of them recently had like 6 dislikes or whatever. It was one of the
honestly, I'm not mad. They took the time to click the link, and they're like, no, I'm gonna dislike this. Good for you for following through.
Good for you. You know what I say on Interlude? When I see any comments on Interlude, because Interlude has like 98.5% likes versus dislikes, and and Josh gets so upset anytime there's a dislike of anything he does. And I said to Josh, I said, look, just do what I do. And what I do every so often I read this like really, really nasty comment about Interlude. It's all like, it comes from, not like Jackson or Alec Peters or whatever. And anyway, I just write down, like, I'm really, really sorry that so many people disagree with you. But don't take it personally. You're still special. You still count. And
it's actually kind of sweet. Like, if you mean it. That's actually kind of sweet.
Which I don't, by the way. I'm just
I
sarcastic. But but sorry, so many people disagree with you.
Yeah, it sucks.
But that it sucks. And if you make a fan film and you have like a few that, feel free to use that. That line is yours. And if you make a fan film and 75% of people don't like it, make another fan film and keep trying.
Yeah, make it different. Try again. Try again. There's different styles for different people, and if someone genuinely doesn't like it, like, I'm not offended. I welcome constructive criticism. I know Josh does too. It's no skin off my back. You know what I mean? Like, some people are gonna like really love Ghost Ship. Some people are gonna really love, I don't know, other things. Like, there's so much in the Avalon universe. I'm not gonna like just rattle off the whole list, but it's different strokes for different folks. And I don't really pay attention to I mean, you've seen I'm pretty late on comments and stuff, but I try to read them, but I don't necessarily pay attention to them in terms of, is this going to change who I am or how I am? No, because who I am and what I've learned and what I continue to learn and what I do in this community is going to strengthen me, and it's part of my journey. I mean, this is just, I'm part of Avalon as much as Avalon is part of me. Like, when I started on Cosmic Stream, I wasn't in front of the camera. I was just having the time of my flipping life being on the bridge. Like, I walked in and wept. Someone should have actually like recorded it or something, because I wept. I was like, this is like, because it's actually my dream to be on set. And when I think about it, here she comes. When I think about it, it is so beautiful. I didn't know this was right in my backyard, and this has been a dream of mine for so long. And to see everyone making Star Trek films and to discover this entire community, because it's not just Avalon. Like, you made Interlude, and there's so much. There's so many people making so many amazing things, and just to be like, this little pixie dust sparkle, and I'm happy. I'm happy. So
Yeah, yeah.
press
I mean,
that like button or dislike. I'm happy.
yeah, well, you know what? That's what I love about fan films is, there's no real wrong way to do it. I mean, even if your fan film sucks, as I like to say, there's no such thing as a bad Star Trek fan film. And if you see a bad Star Trek fan film, refer back to rule number one, that there's no such thing as a bad Star Trek fan film.
Review number one.
Exactly. Well, it's like, I refuse to do reviews of Star Trek fan. People ask me, are you ever going to review them? I'm like, no, I'm not, because it's like reviewing a kindergarten play or a third grade play or whatever, or even a high school musical. You're never going to have Hamilton on Broadway from fans. If you do, you'll actually have real Star Trek.
I was gonna say you have to have a budget.
Yeah, and the budgets
CBS
go so quickly anyway. Yes, and CBS
permissions.
budgets, yeah, exactly. So the fact is that fans, they just have fun playing in the sandbox. And that what you just said is exactly I mean, when I walked onto the Arris Bridge Set, that was cool because that's like 360 degrees.
Yeah,
and
completely
it's like,
immersive. Yes,
and I'm just looking around. It's like, oh my God, we're going to film here. The whole reason that we did Interlude was I just wanted to make sure that set got used by somebody who knew what they were doing, and that was Josh. Josh knew what he was doing, and Victoria knew what she was doing. And so, here was a fan film where we could make something, really, not just a fan film, but a really amazing fan film. Still a fan film. Yeah. But it was just so cool, and to be able to film everything that was happening on there, and because by the time we were ready to shoot, I had done most of the work of a producer, which, by the way, once again, you are, because I never finished telling that story. But I never produced anything. I watched stuff. I was a creative director for a design and multimedia company for 12 years, which helped me being a producer. But when all is said and done. But when all said and done, I've never produced a film before. But there are so many, as you know, there's so many little details. Have to make sure all the equipment is there and the people are going to get fed and everybody shows up.
Costumes, food. Yeah, it's, location, dissemination of information, triplicate. Some people need to know this, some people don't need to know that. Sometimes the information's too much. The director needs to know everything. It's it's a handful, man. It's a handful for sure.
I didn't know what I didn't know. Victoria said, don't worry, I'll be your line producer at the beginning. And then ultimately, Victoria was not my line producer. I was my line producer.
Yeah.
Because she was busy doing other stuff because, Victoria has a very busy life. She's a casting director. She's an actress and whatever. And this was just a fan film side thing. So I ended up doing pretty much everything that needed to be done. Like, everybody's measurements for the costumes, for the uniforms, I had to collect for every single, extra that was going to be on there, and we had like 15 people. I had to make sure I got every single one of their measurements, and it wasn't just like a few measurements. They had to like literally go to their tailors and get like probably
the correct
15 or 20 different, here to here, here to here, here to here, and the crotch or whatever.
Well, because you need to know how long the torso is, how long the legs are, because not everyone's made the same. We're not one size fits all people. And that's crazy you mentioned that, because that's what I had to do for Jen and actors before her. I was like, hey, I know this sounds weird, but I need this. And because they weren't really, the folks that we had weren't really familiar with film. And so I didn't get their measurements. And then when they showed up to set, they're like, why doesn't this fit? And I was like, because you didn't give me any measurements. So now I have to pin it. But Jen gave me hers, so at least I could do something, like at least I could, because I can sew. I used to sew all my own clothes in college. Like,
oh man, you do everything.
Well, I can't do everything. I just like to learn about stuff. But long story short,
seek enlightenment.
Exactly. I know that my brain has a hard drive that can hold about 250 years of information, and golly, I'm going to cram that in there. I'm a learner.
I agree, Sinead, PIXI, we're actually have to start like erasing files, to fit more in here. So,
defrag.
I get so fragged during the day.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
Man.
so yeah, so the thing is, being a producer is just, you figure this stuff out and you do it. And people who are not good producers don't do it, but you do it.
Yeah.
The Avalon is happening in many ways because of you. Granted, also because of Josh and everybody else there.
Yeah.
But you and I both know Josh. Josh is currently wearing 16 hats.
Oh gosh, when is he not though?
But what
he's
really
prolific.
Oh yeah. But what he really needs is for people to start taking some, because he's carrying this much, So the more people who can take some of that onus off of him, having Neil come on as his director of photography allows Josh to be a director,
an actual director, and not a cameraman, which is yes, he's an excellent cameraman. I'm no Tino shade there. Like, it's just he wants to be a director. Now he's got this opportunity because I want him to be able to do that, because obviously he knows what he's doing. He's got the stories. He's a great storyteller. He's got the vision. When I say we, my husband and I are just wanting to really drive home the organization part of it, so that every single penny that is donated is going directly into the film and not into some last minute purchase. Like, our pre-production, we're already beginning pre-production for stuff in 2022. You know what I mean? We've already got another story that we're coming very soon. I'll let Josh do all that, but there's another story coming very soon. And I'm with one of the actors who's going to be in it right now, Miss Riley. Yes. And
Riley
I can't wait for it. It's such a cool story, because it really explores something that I think a lot of Star Trek, like real Star Trek, missed. They missed an opportunity. And Josh just kind of dug into this story, and I was like, ooh, yes. So I'm really excited to actually be behind the scenes, and this will be my first just producer, and I really want to do it right. So I'm like, let's go storyboarding. Let's do it so that Neil has your vision. Let's make it right. Let's get our flow and our production flow correct, because we're doing it. We're making sure that things get done, and things get done the correct way. Not only for our own peace of mind when we're like you said, who's getting the food, who's getting this, it just makes it that much easier on day of. And it also means that we are saving money, which means we can make more films. That's the goal. We want to make sure that, if we say we're going to make 2 films, we might bring you 4. Who knows?
Could be. Just keep giving them money. And yes, you are a producer. You even said it in that last little clip there. I heard you say it.
You caught me.
I caught you.
I am truly excited to be on the production side of this. My agent has been a huge part of this, and I think that she's been overlooked in a lot of ways. Courtney Heston has been she has been the wind underneath my wings. Seriously. Like, if there's someone who brings joy to me consistently, it's her. Someone that pumps me up consistently, it's her. She is just giving me so much motivation.
Aren't you the pumper? You're the pumper. You're the pump.
Sometimes we have to let the batteries recharge. It can't be the Energizer Bunny. She's been so amazing, and just her encouragement in general is actually where I got the courage to boldly go forth and record this song that I've been holding on to for 15 years.
Oh, well, that's true. And let's finish off with that, because I know we've taken a lot of your time. You have to get back onto the set.
I do.
But so we're going to finally talk about your song just very, very briefly. So Star Trek is real, which we are currently hearing in our heads over and over and over again. It does not escape.
Sorry, not sorry. No.
Now, you originally wrote, I think, and I'm not sure if people know the story behind when you wrote this and why. So you can just talk very briefly about that.
Sure, and I'll try to keep it short, because it could be a long story, but basically,
okay, your turn.
15 years ago, about aging myself, I was driving home from college and a semi truck hit me, and he hadn't been sleeping. His logs were faked. It was like all of the worst things a truck driver could do. And he hit me. He cut me off coming into the fast lane, and I spun around 3 lanes of traffic and ended up facing the other way. Both axles were broken. I was up in a tree. My car was completely totaled, and 2 other people stopped to give witness statements because they couldn't believe that I survived. All I remember is literally letting go of the wheel because I took my foot off the gas. I remembered everything somehow from driving school, and I took my hands off the wheel and then gently put them back on to guide it, like not guide it, but like feel where it's going. And I could see these cars just passing. So when I landed in the tree, I was happy that I was not spinning anymore. And it was really scary. It was really, really scary. I could have died 14 different ways that day. Easily. Freshman year, gone. And after that, following the aftermath, I had a concussion, had to make sure I took care of it. Then I go back to college on a bus ride, a Greyhound. And I have like 4 connections, and it's like a 3-day bus ride to go like 6 hours north, like it takes me for some reason 2 days to go 6 hours. And I just had a lot of time, and I had my little, this little Radio Shack keyboard, and I'd plug my headphones into it, and I just kind of like play chords and write stuff out. And I hadn't done that in a long time, and it was in my backpack. So I get my little keyboard out, and I plug in my headphones, and I just start plugging along. And then all of a sudden, this whole song just comes to me. Like, I was like, what if Star Trek was real? What if I was in it? How would I interact with the characters? And it just wrote itself after that. That was it. And then I kept it for so long because it never fit with any of my albums. It was like just this oddball song that I cherished so much, but I wasn't. When are you going to release Star Trek is Real? Like with your rap album, with your, with your gospel, with your folk Americana, with your indie twee pop. Like, no, it didn't fit anything really. I would perform it live when I was doing my twee pop stuff. Again, years ago, but yeah, I never recorded it. And so finally it was like, oh my gosh, we could do this like as a fan film thing, like as like a thank you or a bonus content. So I paid for the studio time, of course, with Jordan. And then he was awesome and plucked out my chords. And he was the one who ended up getting the strumming arrangement. I mean, we literally just sat there and I just kept singing. Like I just kept singing it over and over and over. And he was like, okay, all right, one more time, go to that person. Okay. Yeah. And then he got it. I mean, we recorded it in 2 takes for him. And actually, no, it was 1 take for him. Yeah, wow. It was 1 take for him. And it was like 2 or 3 takes for me. And bada bing, bada boom. Bada What's bing, it Neil always says? Bob's your uncle? Yeah. But yeah, so that's how it came to be.
Now you did drop one little grenade and all of that. I know I was going to finish up on this, but you said you have other albums. You've released albums. Oh my goodness! Yes. I don't know a lot of people who have released albums. This is like one of those things. Where you just discover more and more about it. PIXI is the onion, the layer of the onion, or the flower, the petals of the flower with the beautiful.
Oh, I'm an onion. I'll make you cry. No, just kidding.
But anyway, would you like to give a little shout out for your? My discography is it's okay. I'll promote that when the time is right. I think right now, Avalon's my focus. Producing these awesome
fan films and stories. Really, it's the stories that I love. That's what's hooked me, is let's tell this story for everybody, because whoa, that's cool.
No, it's a fun story, and we're having fun watching it. We're just we can't wait to see you in October. You know, I mean, here you are, you know, just coming onto the fan film scene. You're bursting forth, and PIXI has arrived because this is going to be a full-length fan film. And you know, yes, you know, Jennifer Rader's in it too, but you know, I mean, you know, Allenby is, you know, this is introducing Allenby, and you're really carrying it. I mean, you're literally carrying it through the desert, you know, hiking and hiking for real, and you know, death-defying stuff. But
no, we really did hike, and we really were walking through the desert for a while. I'll end with this little tidbit. It was so hot in one of the deserts that the bottom of my boots melted.
Wow. Which desert was that?
I believe it was Phoenix, the second day.
Oh well, yeah. It's a dry heat.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh,
yeah, there's nothing cold. There's nothing cold about Arizona.
It's a beautiful state park. Josh Diener was able to get us connected with. Oh my gosh, it was beautiful location. I think it's called White Tank National Park.
Yes, White Tank was it.
Yeah, and he gave us the permission. Or he didn't give us permission, but he was the one who knew who to contact, and was like, "This would be perfect," and it was. It really was.
Well, I'll tell you a very funny, quick Arizona story, because I figured Arizona is a very hot, dry state. And the first time I ever went there was with the same girlfriend that I made out with in the turbo lift. And it was 1997 or thereabouts, I guess, 6 or 7. And we'd gone there, I think it was like just to take advantage of the Thanksgiving weekend. And we got there on Thanksgiving evening, and we were staying in Flagstaff. And we went to sleep, and you know, this is the day before you could check the weather on your phone. You had to, like, you know, find a you know, weather forecast on the news when you turned it on, and didn't watch the news. So we just assumed that, you know, everything was going to be fine. We'd go to the Grand Canyon the next day, and next we wake up and there's 7 inches of snow on the ground. There had not been 7 inches of snow when we went to sleep. We woke up and there was 7 inches of snow on the ground. This is the first time I ever went to a Target. I didn't even know what Target was, but that was the store in town, and bought snow boots, you know, or actually really, you know, good workman's boots, which I still own, by the way. I still have a jacket that I bought in 1997 or 1996 from Target. A really good winter jacket, because I live in Southern California.
One of 4 people, where you are, one of 4 people that has snow boots and a winter jacket.
Well, you know, it does actually get cold and snowy in Southern California. You just have to drive to it. Which, but keep in mind, I grew up in New York City. I went to school in Ithaca with Cornell. So
nice.
You know, I am used to lots and lots of cold and snow. I know how to drive on it. I know how to walk on it and such. So our drive to the Grand Canyon was actually not that bad, because, you know, I kept the car going straight. They plowed the roads back.
Yeah.
It's actually gorgeous. It was beautiful by the time I got there.
That'd be amazing to see the Grand Canyon covered in snow. Like that, that'd be really cool.
Well, the thing is our side didn't have as much snow on it, because the south rim is about 1,000 feet lower than the north rim. But the cool thing is that when it does snow, if you're on the south rim, you take pictures towards the north rim, it's got snow on it. So if you had a good zoom lens, you know, that's the beauty stuff. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, Arizona, it's a weird state, but I'm not surprised that your boots did.
Yeah, they did. They totally did. Had to buy some new ones.
Oh man. Well, anyway, c'est la vie, Bobby. Anyway, PIXI, just thank you for finally making some time. And I know it's been tough. You were working so many hours, and you would get home and you were exhausted. We just couldn't find a time to do this. And
I know.
I'll do it from the studio, but you know what? I just, you know, thank you for making the time and just for being you, because I know people want to know PIXI.
Oh,
I don't know why.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. And it's like, I don't know why.
No, I know exactly why, because you're just so. I came up with a great word for you this morning while writing the blog for the music video, because I was trying. Well, I like to alliterate if I can alliterate a little, and I'd already used the word energetic and enthusiastic, and I was trying to find another E word, because I was calling you an elf, the energetic elf, but I'd already used energetic, the enthusiastic elf. And I was like, okay, so what else do I got? And I'm just like, effervescent.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Effervescent
Yeah.
elf. The effervescent
I love
elf,
it.
Pixie. So you were effervescent, Pixie.
Bubbly.
Bubbly.
That works because I'm a mermaid too. So I'm like,
That is, oh, that works.
right? Bubbles. Yeah.
Bubble.
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh.
All right,
That's
well, I'm
so
gonna
great.
let you get back to work, helping Glenn and
Yeah.
helping Dan and Glenn. There we go.
Dan and Glenn.
Make their fan film, and then you have to drive back to Little Rock after that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How
but it'll
long
be
is
in
that
the
drive?
evening. It's about 2.5, 3 hours, depending on traffic. Usually it's about 2.5.
Okay, 2.5 to 3 hours. I mean, that's not chicken feed either. I mean,
Yeah.
you're
No, it's a drive. It's a drive.
it's a drive.
But
I mean, I drive 2.5.
I'm not driving to
3 hours.
LA though. I'm not driving to New York. It's not like it's not that bad. I used to
Not
have to
like
drive
Josh.
6, 7
You're not
hours to
driving
college.
Phoenix. Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah. Not driving to Oklahoma again, like not for a little while,
Not for a
not
little
till I get to
while.
see my Courtney.
Courtney. Oh, I didn't realize she's in
Yes.
Oklahoma. And you're
Yeah.
Jennifer. Yeah.
And my Jennifer.
Jennifer has to drive 6 hours to have your next fan film. So it's all.
Where hopefully we can find a way to get her flown down here, at least some frequent flyer miles, something. We're trying to figure that out because I don't want her to have to drive, and I don't mind driving, but the sets are here, so
yeah.
So
one
that's
final
a problem
plug.
I'll have to.
One final
fix.
plug for
Yeah.
if somebody's still watching at this point.
Yeah.
Tell them to give your GoFundMe is still up. It doesn't have a deadline.
Oh yeah.
Tell people to give money.
It is. So you can go to bit.ly/Avalon Trek. That's capital ABALON, capital TREK, capital A, capital T, bit.ly/Avalon Trek. And that's the permanent link if you want to donate. We will be having
I'll also have the link in the description.
Things. Yes,
way.
Awesome. So it's down here. And we'll also
or
have
if you're reading the blog,
things.
there's also a link on the blog.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So this Christmas we'll have a couple of special items for all donors, not just donors who donated during the match, but all donors until Christmas. We're going to be doing something special.
Giving a Christmas present.
A little
like
Christmas
you're gonna
present.
mail like a really mailing them something or just emailing them something.
If they are willing to share their address, we will definitely mail it. Yeah.
Oh,
it's a tangible item. That's all I'll say right now.
Something you can hold. Oh, by the way.
Something you can hold.
By the way, let me see if okay, take a look at this. Is this cool or what?
Whoa. Okay, that's cool.
This sticks onto the back. This just arrived yesterday. This sticks onto the back of your car. Underneath.
Okay.
So Subaru, warp drive.
Yeah. Warp drive.
No, it's not yet. Anyway, this is just so cool. It just arrived yesterday. I wish I could
Nice.
remember where I bought it from. I know people are going to want to know.
Right? I was about to say.
Okay, so somebody put a question in the comments or whatever, and I'll just go look it up or whatever. But yeah, I think I'm trying to. But it's just so cool. I got one that also says infinite improbability drive. That's going on the car first, but.
Nice.
But I'm sure pretty soon we're gonna want to have those. But yeah, if you give those out to people, they're gonna this you can mail this thing for less than $1. It's not even coming up again there. Yeah, yes, you can. It's so you can fit in an envelope.
I was like, when it's shiny, yeah. Oh yeah. So it just goes.
There we go. Yeah. There it is. No, it's not gone. And whatever. Okay. Zoom needs to fix that.
Yeah. Like put a piece of paper behind it and I don't know. But yeah, I'm being called to set.
Perfect.
Guess
Perfect
that worked out really great.
Fantastic. Thank them for that wonderful finale. And thank you for being here. And once again, welcome to the fan film community, Pixie. You are loved.
Well, I love every single one of you. And if you're still watching, I really love you.
Yes.
No, truly, I'm blown away by all of this. And I can't wait to do more and more and more.
Donate.
Yeah, please, please, so I can deliver.
Yay. Okay, get back to work, Pixie.
Okay. Ciao
Bye-bye.
for now. Bye, everybody. Thank you.